Hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3865. Today's date is February 5, 2026. It's been almost like afternoon at 2:24 p.m. All right. Okay. All right. So what exactly is this thing? Why am I always kind of like look the notification when I'm recording Artifact? I don't know why I'm kind of like looking at the date and it kind of like somebody. Whatever. Let's just jump into the question. All right. The question is my audience? There is a monkey. Why this monkey is crazy? Not crazy. It's he's playing probably. He's just kind of like somebody jumping up and down without reason. Okay, yeah. So question is my audience is actively searching for solution or just casually browsing? Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. Okay, first of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? This is YouTube realization question. I asked this question to myself so that I would realize more regarding about this YouTube, regarding about this platform, regarding about me, regarding about that am I that content creator or not? Because when I ask this question, I get this realization and it kind of like a far more essential for me as a profession of a content creator and things like that. All right. Now regarding about the question says that is my audience is actively searching for solution or just casually browsing? Okay, so basically this question is a kind of like a bit more complicated but not that complicated. Okay, yeah. So ask this question, I'm gonna kind of like simply give you my point of perspective instead of kind of like a curry, instead of kind of like simply a content creator. I'm gonna give you my kind of like a reason that why I use YouTube or why I use any social media platform. By the way, I have Instagram. I usually use YouTube a lot. Instagram, I just kind of like only check something like how many views I get and things and that. That's it. Instagram I barely use. YouTube I use a lot. Okay, yeah. And this social media platform, YouTube, I use a lot. Okay, yeah. Now, what kind of like what is actually stuff when you open YouTube? What kind of like a videos that you watch? First of all, I don't really watch any short form content or any short video content. Why? Because it's not. Okay, let me give you my point of perspective. How I watch my YouTube videos. I didn't really watch my YouTube video just like I playing the video and kind of like a sit in front of it and watch it. No, I didn't really did that. When I watch any kind of like some YouTube videos, what I did, I just like I am kind of like a somebody habitable or I'm kind of like a bit more convenient to kind of like do my work simultaneously. I watch YouTube videos. Now, how do I do that? Okay, so I do poster design, I do my work, I do editing. Like most of the work is actually in front of my desk. Okay, yeah. So what exactly is this thing na? Ki in my work, okay, yeah, it's not really required to put 100% in attention to my work. Like let's just say I'm rendering file. So I click the render, then what should I supposed to do? Okay, staring at this kind of like assembly the like a loading bar. No, it's not. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing that ki I put my phone under the monitor. Under the monitor means like that. Like basically there is a slot, so I just put the mobile phone. Okay, yeah. And headphone inside. Okay, put the headphone. Play the YouTube videos. Okay, yeah. Okay, I kind of like play the YouTube videos and kind of like only watch any kind of like a documentary or any kind of like information and things like that. I usually watch such a content that heavily associate with the audio, not heavily associate with the video. Now, what exactly is this thing? Example. let's just say I am kind of like simply listening a documentary regarding about World War II. Obviously there is a kind of like a visual too, but most of the content that I will gonna consume from audio, the person will kind of like explain this thing, that this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and most of the information I get from audio. Okay, yeah. Visuals, like basically even if I ignore it, kind of like a okayish, I understand the context and things and that, and it's not really that key I will lose the visual. Like if it kind of like a really essential, I just kind of like simply look down and that's it. Okay, yeah. So basically in my peripheral vision, that mobile phone is like, I'm like basically I'm looking at the monitor all the time. Okay, yeah. Kind of like a doing editing, kind of like a things and that and that. If it kind of like a really essential, I look down and I see the visuals. Okay, yeah. So this is how I kind of like a watch YouTube videos. Okay, yeah. And I watch so many YouTube videos, so many like this is how I watch. Okay, yeah. Now because of this thing, I watch so many documentaries, I so much information, kind of like assembly so many geopolitics video, economics video, history, science things and that and that. And because of this thing, it kind of like add value in me. Now most of the people are kind of like asking this, how are you supposed to do this thing? Well, I have practice. Okay, yeah. I it's not really that I'm kind of like started doing that. I'm doing this thing for years. Okay, yeah. So basically, it's not really that kind of like a very much complicated for me. If you try to do this thing, then might be at the beginning you might kind of like lose the focus, or maybe kind of like something that key you can't do two things at the same time. Okay, yeah. So am I doing two things at the same time? No, it's not. I'm doing the two things at the same time. No, I'm just listening. My most of the attention are on the monitor, like what exactly is this thing and that and that. Also, my work is not that much kind of like a things that I should supposed to be kind of like assembly focus on monitor that much. Example is this thing. Let's just say I am kind of like a removing the background. Okay, yeah. So I'm kind of like a select the masking and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. So for this particular processor, for this particular process, do I need to use my brain that much? No, I need just focus. So I am focusing on kind of like a masking and kind of like a listening some sort of things that this particular say, like a podcast and things and that and that. Is it multitask? I'm not really sure. For some people might be a multitask. Some people are, but I am literally like convenient. Like basically is this thing na ki because of these YouTube videos, it kind of like a complement my work. Okay, yeah. If I'm not watching any kind of like a YouTube videos or anything at all, then I might not sit in front of my desk for longer period of time. Okay, yeah. Because of I kind of like watch this kind of like some YouTube videos simultaneously, then it kind of like a complement my work. And because of this thing, I can sit for like a 6, 7, 8 hour non-stop. But I'm kind of like getting a lot of disturbance because I kind of like live at my home. So there is a lot of disturbance at home. Okay, yeah, but still I could able to kind of like sit and kind of like do my work and things and that and that. I cannot do two things at the same time when I'm reading. Like basically this thing, when I am reading, I am focused on reading. Okay, yeah. So this is what it is. What is it? And my brain is a kind of like a somebody just like a wired with this particular process of doing work. Okay, yeah. So this is how I kind of like access YouTube, sometime Netflix and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. I'm kind of like assembly. It complement my work. All right. Now, when I watch a kind of like a YouTube video, I kind of like a prefer to watch these kind of like videos and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. But I was not this before. Like a before means like that ki probably this actually started after the COVID, when I came home and kind of like started doing content creation and things and that and that. Before that, when I was kind of like doing a job, my accessing YouTube is a kind of like a very much different. Different how? Means like that I legitly kind of like a play video and watch video. Okay, yeah. So how do I supposed to watch? Well, at that time, my only reason to watch any kind of like a YouTube video is for the entertainment purpose, like music or kind of like a some web series or things and that, so that I would be entertained, not a kind of like a getting a value and things and that. Like right now I'm kind of like simply utilizing YouTube for very right purposes. I'm getting so much amount of information, knowledge and things and that. But when I was kind of like doing a job, I don't really want any kind of like information, or I don't even know that you can able to be learn so many things from the YouTube. I just open YouTube and just for fun, just for kind of like a getting entertain, and that's it. And there are most of the people are those in the category. Like basically is this thing, if I'm looking at the statistic regarding about the YouTube, it's not kind of like simply exactly right, but probably almost like a 70% of the user on YouTube, they are just looking for entertainment. Okay, yeah, they watch vlog, they watch movies, movie, song, web series, or any kind of like some stuff, or maybe kind of like a very popular kind of like a banter or things and that. Educational video or any kind of like a some value added video, people watch very less. Why? Because obviously the quantity of the people are very less now. Okay, yeah, the only people who watch those educational video or any kind of like assembly this thing is because of they are going through some sort of stuff, or they are wanted to utilize social media for right purposes. Means like that ki let's just say 100 people, in the 100 people there are kind of like assembly only 10 or 20 people are wanted to be successful. Okay, yeah, 80% of the people don't want to be successful. Yeah, legitly they don't want to be successful. What do you mean by that? Okay, yeah, let me give you the understanding. Okay, it's a kind of like a societal rule. It's a kind of like a societal thing. Okay, yeah. Okay, so why does rich people are so few and normal people are so much? Why is that? Is because of that he so many people are don't want to be rich, or don't want to be kind of like a bigger person. Yeah, legitly they don't want to be. Like, I'm not kind of like a talking about the resistance that they will gonna face, but at the beginning they don't want to be. They don't want to be a kind of like a richest person. They don't want to be a kind of like a bigger personality or things and that. Now why is that? Why does people, most of the people don't want to be kind of like a rich or kind of like a things like, why are you telling this statement? It might be kind of like a very wrong na. Like basically if you ask anyone, do you want to be rich person, everyone might gonna say yes. Right? Yeah, but in reality they are not. They are really not. I'm trying to give you a little bit of evidence and things and that. Okay, yeah, so that you might gonna understand. Okay, first of all is that key. Let's just say if I ask any person, okay, yeah, say this thing, that key, do you want so much amount of money? Most of people say no. Yeah, most of people say no. Yeah, why is that? Why? Like basically I also kind of like telling this thing from Indian context point of perspective. Okay, yeah, as well as this demographic opinion might be changed. Okay, regarding about who are you asking and what exactly is this thing. Like basically example is this thing, I am belong to the India. I am kind of like a went towards a kind of like such a people whose age is, let's just say, like early 20s. Okay, early 20s means like that at the age of 20 to 25. Okay, these are kind of like a people. Okay, these are my target audience. I kind of like went there. Okay, yeah, and kind of like tell them, okay, that key, do you want to become rich person? Okay, yeah, most of the people say no. Most of people, yeah, like basically if I ask 10 people, 10 out of maybe 8 people might gonna say no, they don't want to be rich person. They want a kind of like somebody a particular typical job, and they just want to settle their life and things and that. Maybe 2% or maybe 1% might gonna say they want to be rich. Okay, yeah, now will they become rich or not, it's another question. Okay, yeah, but why does 10 out of 8 people don't want to be rich? Why is that? Okay, yeah, because let me tell you one thing now. As we are human, I am human, you are human, everyone's are human. Okay, yeah, and we all are evolved through society or kind of like assembly in the community and things and that means like that multiples of people. Okay, yeah. And because of we evolved through society, we just wants to do things when everyone does it, and that became kind of like a normal to us. Example is this thing that ki became a rich person or became something bigger person, it kind of like a defines a kind of like a opposite way of going the flow. Like basically everyone wants to go with the flow. Like everyone are doing the thing, I also do the thing. Like basically I did the same thing. Yeah. Everyone are kind of like a wanted to be engineer. They went to the engineering college. I also took the engineering diploma. I'm not really sure that am I want to become that particular person or not. I just took it. And I'm not the only one who did that. Everyone does it. You did that too. Okay, so this is what it is. We kind of like a take the decision according to the societal perspective or also according to the kind of like the communal point of perspective. That everyone does it, I also do that thing. Okay, yeah. But this is what it is. Okay, yeah. So when you want to become something bigger or rich person or kind of like a things and that, obviously is this thing you have to sacrifice so many stuff. First of all, you have to go against the kind of like assembly societal rule and things and that. Okay, yeah. Now how do you supposed to kind of like a go against means what? Means what? Like a basically is this thing na ki I'm gonna tell you kind of like a typical societal rule that everyone follows. Okay, yeah. It's not typical, it's a standard. Okay, yeah. That kind of like somebody ensure safety, security, and kind of like a better life. Now, what is exactly that rule? Also, I'm telling this from Indian point of context. I'm not really sure about your area. If you are from US, Europe, I'm not really sure about that. I'm also telling you from Indian point of perspective because I born in India. I see the world around me and that world is India. So yeah, I'm gonna telling that point of perspective. Okay, yeah. So what is exactly the rule? Rule is that till the age of 23 or till the age of 24 or till the age of 25, you have to complete your education. You have to complete your graduation. Okay, that is the utmost essential thing. Okay, yeah. After you done your graduation till the age of 27 or till the age of maybe 30, you have to be married. You have to be married. Till the age of 30, you have to be married. Boy, girl, same. Okay, yeah. And till the age of 31 or 32, you have a kid. You should have a kid. You should have a kid. Okay, yeah. And these are kind of like some rules that we have, or kind of like assembly to ensure a kind of like assembly proper safety, security, and kind of like assembly little bit kind of like assembly success. Not too much, not too less, just little bit. A kind of like a convenient to kind of like a stay in the society and things and that. Right? Yeah. Now, every rich person or every person who did something bigger in his life, those person didn't really follow those rules, or maybe those people follow those rules, they might ditch that rule, or maybe kind of like somebody they just it's not really convenient for them to kind of like follow this rule because they want to do something bigger in their life, and when they wanted to do something bigger in their life, it's kind of like a bit really complicated to them to follow these rules because it's kind of like a bigger resistance for them. Okay, yeah. So they might not gonna do married, they might not gonna do a job, they just kind of like a focusing on their work and things and that, which is completely opposite to the direction of the flow. Which opposite to the direction of the flow means it comes with a resistance. Resistance what? People kind of like say this thing, what are you doing with your life? You are 32, you are still living with your parents, you are not earning any money, things and that and that and that. Okay, yeah. These are resistance. Okay, yeah. Most of the people are not kind of like assembly are not a kind of like assembly like a equipped with the facing those resistance. They don't want to face the resistance. Most of people wanted to go with the flow. Most of people wanted to be part of the crowd. Most of people just wanted to be just exist in the society. They just don't want to go up. They just don't want to go down. They just want to be just in the society. Yeah, this is what it is. So that's why most of the people, 10 out of 8 people say this thing. No, I don't want to be rich person. I want to be kind of like somebody just kind of like somebody just normal, kind of like somebody had enough salary so that I would supposed to sustain my life or my wife or things and that. That's it. and also they don't want to do any kind of like some bigger thing in their life. Okay, yeah. So when the community have this mentality, hey, shoo, the monkey is actually here. Shoo, shoo. Okay, so when the community, or when community, or when a kind of like some society have this kind of like a mentality of the people, innovation happen less. When the innovation happen less, the country will progress will slow, and things and that and that. Now, slow means what? Na, like basically is this thing na, how does country or how does society will gonna improve is by kind of like having such a people who are kind of like willing to do something very different. And obviously who would have that courage? 10 out of 2 people means obviously very less people. So having less people, that means they just, yeah, it's like that na ki we are atom. Okay, we all are atom. Okay, like hydrogen, helium, every kind of like an atom. Every atom are wants to be a stable, like having a kind of like a perfect valence shell, electron, and things and that and that. These are all we are too. We just wants to be kind of like a settle. Okay, yeah, once we got settled, that's it. Okay, like everything and things and that and that. But the carbon is the only one element who kind of like do something very differently. He just wanted to share. He just wanted to kind of like he's little bit of unstable. He just, if he wanted to stable, he just connect with another element, things and that and that and that. Okay, yeah. And obviously in the entire periodic table, carbon is the only element who is a kind of like wanted to do this thing, wanted to create multiple bonds and things and that, because he was not satisfied with the kind of like somebody stable and things and that. I don't know, it's a kind of like this context or this thing is not exactly right. Okay, yeah. Okay, but just point of understanding, right? So this is what kind of like humans are. This is what, and it affect on every level in the society. It affect on social media too. That's why 100 out of 80% of the people who are just using internet or any kind of like a social media platform for fun, for just getting time pass or just entertainment. Okay, yeah. Only 20% of the people who are wanted to utilize that social media for right purposes, and I am really proud to say I am one of those 20% of the people. Right? Whatever. Sometimes I just kind of like a talk about kind of like a lot of like a guru or kind of like a TED talk video and things and that. Whatever. The question is that wait, what is the question? My audience is actively searching for solution or casually browsing. Okay, yeah. Now, what exactly is this question? This question is actually about YouTube realization. Okay, yeah. So I just have to give the kind of like information about me. I am a content creator. I create a content regarding about graphic designing, specifically poster designing. Okay, yeah. I create the poster. I create a poster regarding about different topic. Like basically today I will gonna make a video. I make a kind of like a poster regarding about that a successful student will always kind of like a help by his parents and things like that. So I kind of like a get an idea. I will gonna execute that idea after this artifact. Okay, yeah. So I create the multiple, like yesterday I kind of like a create a poster regarding about a pregnant woman kind of like a going through train and no one actually give the seat. Okay, yeah. So these are kind of like a particular kind of like somebody the poster that I design and things and that to kind of like a creates or evoke or kind of like a represent some sort of message or things and that from my poster design. So this is my creativity. Okay, now how do I supposed to execute this creativity? I execute this creativity in short form piece of content. Long form piece of content, I didn't do that thing. Why is that? Because it's not a kind of like a some clear thing that you should supposed to be execute for longer period of time, as well as might be people might not kind of like simply stay with that thing, because entire poster design is actually happened by Gemini. So it is more and more important in creativity or prompting. How do I supposed to explain the prompting? It's very hard. Okay, yeah. And as well as the engagement is actually come from the short form content. So that's why I'm kind of like executing in short form piece of content, vertical video piece of content. All right. Now another thing is that I create this kind of like a piece of content. Okay. Right now I have 1800 something subscriber, not really that much, 800 700 something, 1700 something subscriber. Okay, yeah, on the YouTube platform. In Instagram platform I have 12,000 follower on Instagram platform in right now. Okay, now what exactly is this thing that this is my piece of content. Okay, yeah, now which kind of like a people will gonna watch my content? The people who are kind of like a somebody casually searching, or people who are kind of like a somebody just like utilizing for right purposes? Is my content for what people? Obviously my content is a poster design. Okay, yeah, and YouTube is actually recommend my content for people who are kind of like associate with the poster designing or graphic designing people, Photoshop, photography, graphic designing. It kind of like a recommend my content to to those people. Now those people are kind of like a somebody in the category of the people who are kind of like utilized for right reason, means like 20% of the people. Okay, yeah, so obviously I create the content for that 20% of the people. Okay, yeah, so obviously I would have very less amount of kind of like assembly viewers and things and that and that. Example is this thing: if I kind of like make a video about a kind of like a dancing video or kind of like a vlog video or things like that and that, it might gonna work because most of the people are kind of like a want to entertain, and I kind of like a create a video for entertain purposes, then it might gonna work. Okay, yeah, but still I choose to be kind of like a create a valuable content that matter to the people. Okay, yeah, it will gonna cater only 100 out of 20% of the people. I'm fine with that thing, but it kind of like a somebody represent that kind of like a value of me, of my content and things and that and that. Okay, yeah, so my this is my kind of like some audience. Okay, yeah, and I wanted to make sure that audience should supposed to be stick with that thing. Okay, yeah, and also I wanted to kind of like a upgrade my content as much as I could possible. All right, so this is my answer. This is my audience are actually searching for. My audience are kind of like a somebody just a solution or casual browsing. They are not kind of like somebody looking for kind of like somebody like a basically searching for solution or any problem. No, they are kind of like a looking for kind of like a somebody value and things and that probably. Casually browsing fun and things, yeah, like basically poster design is also, if my video will recommend to the normal people, yeah, it is also work really well too. Yeah, but obviously I also understand the people who will kind of like my video, or people who are just casually searching my content, will they kind of like become my audience, or will they become my kind of like a subscriber? Might be they will, but not for a long period of time, because obviously is this thing that they just access YouTube or any kind of like a social media platform for entertainment, and my content is not entertain them, so it's not really just connect that much. All right, so this is my answer. Thank you.